gals, Nary here from Drag Queen Gaming, and studying on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Sileo, Ty's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up and let's go. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. As for Diego's final question, I had no qualms about it, and I already knew my answer. Yes, I can see myself spending my life with him. He's perfect. Oh, that's sweet, dude. And he's the best damn sex I've ever had. Oh, come on, you know I want the details. You're just as bad as when I asked Ty about Oh shit, that's right. What's right? Yeah. Dude, he came in this morning. Who did? Spencer. Oh! I pondered to myself, trying to determine whether Spencer was something I still wanted to pursue. It all started when things between Ty and I weren't so good, and his suspicious and secretive nature raised some difficult questions with no real answers. I had been wondering if Spencer had anything to do with what was going on between Ty and me, but perhaps I had been jumping to conclusions. A perfectly normal response to being upset and heartbroken. Thinking about it now, I almost felt foolish. After all, I was committed to Ty through thick and thin, just as he was to me. But despite that, I decided I would continue, but for reasons unrelated to my relationship with Ty. I suppose at this point I was just curious, and I did not want Dom and Diego's hard work to have been for nothing. So, he came in and asked for Ty, wanted to speak to him. Of course, you two were off banging in the woods like filthy animals, so I let him know that Ty wasn't around. I mean, we weren't banging in the woods this morning, although I did get a blowjob wake-up call. You fucking tease? Heh, sorry. Anyway, I didn't learn much. He knows you and Ty are dating, though, and he remembered my name, apparently, from previous visits. Didn't even buy nothing, cheapskate. Tried to convince me to have a drink, one of them expensive import bottles. Not a chance. But he's coming back tomorrow, and we're both working tomorrow. Tomorrow? Shit, I wonder what he's after. Maybe tomorrow we'll finally figure it out. I guess that's all we have to go on right now. We ought to think about the kinds of questions we should ask him. True, but I'd like to ask a favor. Let's keep Ty out of this. I'd like to know more, but things are good right now. My relationship is my priority. I don't want to take any risks. He's one of the few people who knows, dude. We can't just discount him from the search. I know, but I'd prefer not to know than risk screwing things up. He's just so much more important to me than some shady bird. Alright, dude, I understand. I won't say a thing. I won't say a thing to or around Ty. Thanks, Diego. On one condition. I sighed, concerned about what he would ask of me this time. You know your damn conditions, Diego. Fine, what do you want? Give me the deets! Really? Really? I sighed. I guess Diego did have a point before. We were best friends and gay. What was the point in hiding anything? He'd been there, done that. Maybe being able to talk about this sort of stuff with someone I trust would be kind of nice. You know? Oh, that's a good drink. I just had to hope that Diego would keep it a secret between us. Actually, this was Diego we were talking about. I had better make it a condition of the agreement beforehand. Fine, so long as you promise not to tell anyone. This is a secret between you and me only. Got it? Gotcha, bud. Tell me that you promise me. Yeah, I promise. Not a soul. Okay, so when we were talking to the campsite, we were walking to the campsite, there was this section of the path by a river which had crumbled away. 3 of us got across safely, but Axel wasn't so lucky. Ha! Axel can be such a klutz. I knew as soon as you said 3 of us that he would be the exception. Yeah, poor guy. Anyway, there was a set of fire-making materials in Axel's pack that got drenched, and I gave Ty something of an idea. Having successfully scarred poor Diego for life with the extravagant tales of my sexual conquest, the 2 of us at long last retired to our respective rooms to catch some much-needed shut-eye before returning to work on the following day. I'd slipped a melancholy sigh, mourning my short vacation, which had come and gone in a flash. Ah, well, I suppose those student loans weren't going to pay them right. Yeah, they were actually, all thanks to Ty's insistence. I shrugged at myself. There was always rent, at least if Diego had finally conceded in our petty squabble and accepted payment. I'd hoped with crossed fingers, no sign of any banknotes yet, so far so good. Beyond that, I didn't have a car, nor any other real expenses. A jarring shift from only 2 weeks prior. These days I had all the money I could ever want for buying nice things, ordering delicious meals, taking Ty on extravagant dates. Oh, right, Ty's birthday. The perfect excuse to burn excess cash. I gleefully rubbed my hands together as I pondered the sort of thing I might buy him. Something thoughtful, perhaps. A watch as classy as he was. An amethyst earring to accentuate his violet eyes. My grin grew ever wider as my mind drifted to more unsavory topics. Specifically, the sort of gifts that I could give him that could see some use in the bedroom. Vibrating butt plug, perhaps a gag and some cuffs. Damn, tying a ball gag? Oof, that would be a sight to behold. With a playful yet malicious chuckle, I undressed myself in order to swap into the pile of clothes situated at the foot of the bed, a rough set of poorly fitting and mismatched gear which I wore to bed in lieu of pajamas. On any normal night, I'd have simply retained the same pair of underwear. Alas, thoughts of a cuffed and gagged tie had rendered them slimy and inhospitable to wear. I didn't mind too much as freeballing was fine, too. Accordingly, I wiped myself clean with a few dry spots I could locate and tossed the underwear into a washing basket. I knew full well that a shower would have been the proper solution, but after the day I'd had, a shower sounded like a lot of effort. I pulled my arms through the sleeves of my t-shirt with little delay, eager to slip into the covers and off into a blissful and well-deserved rest, and finally completing the ensemble as I held the waistband of my pants agape and slid my legs inside one by one. Ah, what the fuck? With a loud and high-pitched shriek, I tore the pants right back off again, banishing them to the floor with considerable velocity. I had felt something that didn't belong, something that scraped against my skin as I was pulling them up to my legs. I backed away slowly, my eyes darting to and fro, desperately searching for some kind of weapon for my protection. Through the wardrobe door, which sat only slightly ajar, I spotted a broom, or at least what remained of one. All that remained was the pole and a small loop on one end which allowed the broom to be hung up on a hook. The entire part of the broom that would act as the brush was conspicuously absent. In differing circumstances, I'd have questioned why Diego was holding on to such a thing. Instead, I was thanking my lucky stars. For once, his inability to dispose of old and broken stuff had worked in my favor. Whatever manner of beast the culprit may have been, it would nonetheless regret picking a fight with me. For in my possession was a broken broom, and you bet your ass I know how to use it. I started out poking and prodding at the trousers from the maximum possible distance, my frayed nerves dreading what manner of critter may come scuttling out. When nothing did, I didn't rightly know if I should have felt relieved or more terrified still. There was little else I could muster the courage to do, so I upped the ante. My prodding progressing into aggressive, repeated thwacks in a desperate attempt to be the one man left standing. I was going to lose to some stupid bug. What the shit was that? After much persistence, my onslaught would finally elicit some form of response. I knew not what kind of fucked up two-many-legged hellspawn would have made such a noise, but there was one thing I did know. I needed backup. I edged around the room, maintaining my distance from whatever undignified death awaited me in those trousers as I attempted to reach my suitcase, a pair of pants sticking out of an unzipped gap. I grew closer, as yet unharmed but no less terrified than before. I hated bugs so much. Ever since I was a kid and that girl in class took a centipede down my shirt. Ah! I was close. If I leaned over and stretched my body out, I might have just been able to... Oh, you're fucking kidding. I dramatically dropped the former broom, causing it to clatter to the ground before approaching the trousers, my fear dispelled having finally laid eyes on the source of the strange sound. I bent down, picking it up and holding it in front of my face with an irritated frown. It was $200 in cash, stuffed in my trousers where I couldn't possibly have missed them. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure there was some kind of bug in there. It even kind of sounded like one. I sighed, giving the money a solemn and matter-of-factly glare. I was embarrassed, but nonetheless thankful that nobody had been around to witness such rampant stupidity. Things are about to get so much worse. Yo, you okay in there? I keep hearing loud Huh. I stood there, mouth agape with my cock and balls hanging freely in full view of Diego. At my feet sat a pair of trousers, to my left side a broken broom, and clasped tightly in my hand were two $100 notes. Hey, Diego. Hey, what you doing? Well, it isn't what it looks like. Dude, what the hell even does it look like? Yeah, good point, I guess. I bent down, grabbing the pair of trousers I now knew were safe and quickly climbing into them, hoping to conceal my furry jewels from view as quickly as possible. What's that, yo? Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep, there we go. Well, think about it this way. We're even now. I groaned in abject discomfort. As much as I hated everything about this mortifying situation, perhaps Diego has some small point. After all, I'd gotten a comparable view of him not all that long ago. Perhaps in some strange way this is for the best. You're not mad, are you? I sighed before my eventual retort. I wish you'd knocked. Speak for yourself. Now you know how it feels. I know how you're feeling right now, but honestly, it ain't no big deal. I mean, we're best mates. It was bound to happen eventually. Now, what was it you said last time? Hope the view was worth it? Hey, that's not fair, using my own words in a near-identical but reverse situation against me. Diego failed to conceal his sarcasm as he burst into laughter, eventually regaining his composure. His following words were accompanied by a cheeky grin. But you know, we're both massive fags. Seen my fair share, that's for sure. Bet you have too. So, just wanted to say, nice cock, bro. It ain't weird. Yeah, if I do that, I'm gonna actually hiccup. The sheer absurdity of the entire situation was too much for me to handle as my discomfort finally fled, leaving the last shreds of my composure in catastrophic ruin. Unable to resist, Diego succumbed, joining in my unrestrained laughter, both of us cackling madly like a pair of scheming witches with only a single broken broom between us. We laughed and laughed until we both collapsed to the floor, gasping for breath as our cheeks throbbed from the pain of our outrageous expressions. As soon as I was able to speak once again, I decided it was only fair to return Diego's compliment. Thanks, bro. Yours is pretty nice too, bro. Thanks, bro. Gay. Nothing gay about two bros complimenting each other's cocks, bro. My bad, we're as straight as an arrow, right, bro? I don't know. I still don't rightly know what you planned on doing with that broomstick. Do I even want to know? I thought there was a bug in my trousers. That broom was my weapon for self-defense. Oh yeah, that's right. You have that whole phobia thing, huh? Don't tell anybody. Remember that time at uni when we got drunk and left the window open? Your screaming at 7 in the morning woke me up. Fucking thing was the size of a space station. Ha! Good memories. At long last, Diego climbed to his feet. I followed suit shortly after, stumbling slightly as I did. If I wasn't exhausted before, the adrenaline crash took every last drop of energy I had to spare. Jokes aside, dude, I'm sorry. Thanks for not being mad. Ha! It's like you said before. We're even, I guess. And you're right. Who cares? Phew. Glad things aren't super awkward or anything, so, did you need my help with that bug, or...? All of a sudden, I remembered that Diego's attempt to return the money was the entire reason this whole situation had happened in the first place. I fumed slightly as I raised my hand, waving the 2 notes I still so firmly held between my fingers so that Diego would see them. Oh, whoops. My bad. Come to think of it, maybe we aren't so even after all. Better be getting to sleep. They gotta work tomorrow. Well, good night. That absolute coward walks in on me naked without knocking and hightails it out as soon as I confront him about the cash. I was done with the fun and games. I would stop at nothing until he took my damn money. No more Mr. Nice Guy. As I prepared myself for bed, I schemed up a variety of diabolical schemes that would fatten Diego's stubborn pockets. But as I plotted and conspired, I couldn't help but recall Diego's compliment. Was it just a joke? To break the ice, or maybe he really meant it? I glanced downward and slipped my thumb beneath my elastic waistband before pulling it outward, revealing my sheath and balls in all their glory. With a total absence of any sincerity, I sarcastically mocked a boastful grin. Clearly Diego had an eye for the very finest in sexual organs. Then again, with such a fine pair of his own, was it really such a surprise? With an amused and undignified snort, I switched out the lights and slipped beneath the covers of Diego's spare bed, depositing the money atop the bedside table ready for an imminent return to the possession of its rightful owner. It had been an incredible couple of days. From meeting Russell to the incredible camping trip, having the chance to learn more about Ty and the fascinating life that he had led. Yesterday alone was full of so many amazing moments. Oh, and the sex was cool too, I guess. Alright, y'all. I'm going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Ooh, y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!